Dear all, welcome to my channel Biology Notes. Today I will discuss about the clinical features, diagnosis, treatment and prophylaxis of the disease Ankylostomiasis causes by Ankylostoma duodenale for human. Contents of the video include clinical features, diagnosis, treatment of Ankylostomiasis and prophylaxis to prevent Ankylostoma duodenale or hookworm infection. The disease caused by Ankylostoma duodenale is known as Ankylostomiasis. This is a chart showing some clinical features or symptoms or problems arise from Ankylostoma or hookworm infection to human. Problems can arise due to both larva and adult worm. First, problem due to larva. Due to larva, some clinical symptoms like ground itch, creeping eruptions, and respiratory manifestations may occur. Ground itch. When the filariform larvae enter the skin, they cause severe local itching. An erythematous papular rash develops which later becomes vesicular. Self-limiting condition lasting for 2 to 4 weeks. Creeping eruptions. In this condition, the filariform larvae wander about the skin and produce a reddish itchy papule along the path traversed by them, more common in infections with animal hookworms than with human hookworms. Respiratory manifestations occurs when larvae break out of the pulmonary capillaries and enter the alveoli. Manifests as bronchitis and bronchopneumonia. Rarely, Loeffler syndrome can be seen. Now, effects due to adult worms. Adult worm sucks blood, leading to microcytic hypochromic anemia. Patient develops epigastric pain, dyspepsia, vomiting, and diarrhea. The stool becomes reddish or black in color. Symptoms and signs of anemia are present like exertional dyspnea, palpitation, dizziness, generalized puffy edema, dry brittle hair and koilonychia. Severe hookworm anemia commonly leads to cardiac failure. Other features are weakness and shortness of breath and rarely impaired intellectual power and behavioral changes. Wakana disease. When filariform larva of Ankylostoma duodenale is ingested by the oral route, both gastrointestinal as well as pulmonary symptoms are observed. Common symptoms include nausea, vomiting, pharyngeal irritation, cough, dyspnea, and hoarseness. There are several methods to diagnose the hookworm infection. Laboratory diagnosis may be direct methods or indirect methods. First, the direct methods. It includes stool microscopy, egg counting, demonstration of adult and stool culture, etc. In stool microscopy, the diagnosis is established by finding of characteristic oval segmented hookworm eggs in the feces. It can be done by direct weight microscopy or by concentration method. Egg counting. Number of eggs per gram of stool can be counted to estimate the disease burden in the individual as well as in the community. Various methods are Catocat's technique, direct smear method of Beaver, modified Stolz dilution egg count method, etc. Demonstration of adult. Adult hookworms may sometimes be seen in feces. Specific diagnosis or duodenal aspirate method is required to study morphology of adult worm. Stool culture. Since the eggs of Ankylostoma duodenale and Nectar americanus are indistinguishable, so freshly passed stool samples can be cultured where the eggs hatch out to develop to filariform larva in 5 to 7 days. Then the larvae are studied to identify Ankylostoma duodenale. Various culture techniques used are Harada-Mori method, Bierman funnel technique, charcoal culture method, agar plate technique, etc. Now the indirect methods. It includes blood examination, stool examination, chest X-ray, etc. Blood examination reveals microcytic hypochromic anemia, eosinophilia, etc. Stool examination may show occult blood and charcot-laden crystals. Chest X-ray may show pulmonary infiltrates in the migratory phase. Treatment. Several drugs are there to treat the hookworm or ancylostoma duodenal infection. The antiparasitic or specific anthelmintic drugs like albendazole or mebendazole are the most practical and effective drugs. Pyrantel pamoate is also effective and can be used in pregnancy. Mild iron deficiency anemia can often be treated with oral administration of iron. Severe hookworm disease with protein loss and malabsorption warrants nutritional support and oral or parenteral iron replacement. In the last, I am telling you, never take any medicines without consulting doctors. You must take medicines as prescribed by them because medicines are given by physicians or doctors after proper observation. Prophylaxis. We should keep in mind always that we must not be infected by hookworm. There are few simple methods, and if we follow them properly, then we can prevent hookworm infection. Personal prophylaxis. Personal hygiene must be improved. Prevention of soil pollution with feces. Use of footwears and gloves to prevent entry of larvae while working in the field. Improved nutrition with dietary iron, etc. Community prophylaxis. Municipality should maintain proper disposal of feces. Proper treatment of patients and carriers, preferably all at the same time, to limit the source of infection. School-based deworming. It was launched by WHO in 2001, which aimed at reducing the hookworm morbidity by giving anthelmintic drugs to at least 75% of school-going children by 2010. Vaccine approaches. Experimental immunization of animals with vaccines using larval or adult stage antigen was found to be effective. Various human trials are going on targeting molecules like ancylostoma secreted protein or ASP. So this is all about clinical features, laboratory diagnosis, treatment and prophylaxis of ancylostoma duodenal infection or ancylostomiasis. If you have any query, write in the comment section. Subscribe the channel, like and share the video. Stay with us, keep watching. Thank you.